I risked life and limb to be with her. I married the love of my life. I really did. But don't be fooled. Our story was not a fairy tale. Ours is a tale of forbidden love. There was a time when it seemed as if the whole world was against us. Well, against me liking her. Her grandparents, parents, my parents, and church folk were against it. I guess they had their reasons. I didn't like the opposition we were getting and wanted to forget about her, especially after her grandfather warned me to stay away from her while brandishing his shiny machete. None of that could stop my love. I assure you, what I felt for the girl who is now my wife went way beyond physical attraction. I risked life and limb to be with her. I'm probably being a little melodramatic, but I at least was close to risking limbs. To all the bleeding heart lovers out there, I tell you, though the struggle is real, it gets better. Anyway, like I said, what I saw in Denise Ramdiel went way beyond physical attraction. Yes, she is astoundingly pulchritudinous. Really pretty. But that was hardly the reason for me loving her. I remember looking at her and thinking that she would make an amazing wife one day. Somehow I knew that she would take care of me and our kids if we had any. I knew that she would build a house and not break it. I saw the integrity that her mother walked in and her faithfulness to God, and I somehow knew that this would be a trait that Denise would adopt. And guess what? She did. Even as I spent time studying in the US, Denise remained faithful to the Lord and to me. I was away for 4 years and we wrote each other almost every single week. Even now, when I read some of those letters, it's awesome that she always mentioned the Lord. All her thoughts came right back to Jesus. There has never been a day that I regretted marrying Denise. I don't see my marrying her fortuitous in any way, since I knew what I was looking for in a girl. I am blessed indeed that the Lord had me to be a total nerd. Unlike most young men my age, I was looking at traits that come with wisdom. Somehow, I wanted very specific things. I knew what I was looking for. Some call it luck, I call it divine intervention. God did it. So, what do you look for in a spouse? Glad you asked. Let me give you 5 things that you should look for in a spouse. Are you ready? Let's do it. Number 1, love God. Ensure that the person you love loves God just as much as you do, if not more. You see, if she loves God, then she would be faithful to Him and in turn be faithful to you. If the entirety of your relationship is built on the performance of one another, it's doomed to fail. Why? Because we all fail. The arm of flesh will fail. You will fail your spouse and she will fail you. The Lord Jesus, however, He never fails. So if your spouse is looking to Him, if they're faithful to Him and you're faithful to Him, then your failures hold less consequence. A marriage should be a triangle. You love God, your spouse loves God, and that solidifies your love for each other. This surpasses having something in common. This affords a spiritual connection as opposed to a merely physical and emotional connection. Number 2, not a gossiper. It is imperative that you do not marry a gossiper. I'll tell you why. Gossiping is bad enough, but in order to gossip, you must have a nose in other people's business. This means that your spouse, if a gossiper, will constantly be looking at other people. When this happens, then the comparisons are inevitable. Your life will never be adequate once you're looking over the fence. This is simply a horrible, horrible way to live. You will find yourself giving blood, sweat, and tears to attain a life that exists only within the mind of your nosy significant other. Number 3, an encourager. Find a spouse that knows how to encourage. No, I did not say pester you. I said encourage you. I can honestly say that if I did not have Denise, there would be no HopeFLA Church. On the days when it seemed most difficult, she was a major source of encouragement. Always strive to be better so that they would want to be better themselves. If a person is drab, dull, and incessantly pessimistic, that's not going to change when the ring gets on the finger. If you're the only one lifting the other in a relationship, then after a while, you will get tired and they'll get heavy. An encourager is worth the wait. In this case, opposites attract. If you know you lack discipline, marry someone with lots of discipline. In that way, they'll encourage you to be disciplined. In other words, you'll complement each other. Number 4, humor. Please marry someone with a good sense of humor. This may sound trivial, but I assure you it is important. I'm not saying that you should marry a clown or a comedian, though some of you did. I am saying that it's important to marry someone who can make you laugh or will laugh at your jokes. I can honestly say Denise and I laugh together every single day. We all have days when the tears will flow, pain and hurt will come. People who can help lighten those burdens and bring reprieve in those times are priceless. If you have a partner with a good sense of humor, then utilize that. Don't let that grow dormant. Know the value of it. Number 5, a builder. No, not a construction worker, a builder. One who builds a home is wise. Proverbs 14:1 says, every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. If it were up to me, I'd look almost homeless every day. Denise, on the other hand, is adamant about how me and the kids look whenever we step out of the house. She has adopted the mindset that if I look bad, then she looks bad. That may not be so, since I'm great at looking bad all by myself. She is not having any of that. Her family is a direct reflection of her efforts. She is constantly building and looking to improve our home. Seek a spouse that will build and not break, one who adds and is not constantly demanding. Now, the perfect spouse doesn't exist. That does not mean you can't find someone who's going to compliment and challenge you as an individual to be better than you already are. Don't for one moment think that all the good ones are gone. This is the beauty of God's individualistic creation. We are all different. Our tastes are different. Our passions and preferences are different. This only means that there is someone out there that will laugh at your boring dad jokes. There is someone who will like your chocolate skin and your lousy poetry. You don't have to appeal to everyone, just one. Nowadays, people make it so hard to find the right spouse. It's not that difficult. One of the main reasons why so many marriages fail is because the foundations established early on is based on flesh. Of course, you have to be physically attracted to each other, but don't let that make you marry an ugly person. Some relationships fail because couples engage in acts of intimacy before they actually know each other. That's the recipe for disaster. No wonder divorce rates are so high. How can you engage in intimacy when you hardly know the person you're trying to be intimate with? All is vanity. I thank God that I found my spouse. I do not want to go back to the days when I had to find one. If you are in that place, where you're looking, let God direct you. Be faithful to God, so in that way, even now, you're being faithful to your future wife or husband. If you foolishly choose to explore intimacy with someone before you actually meet your wife or husband, you've then become a thief or a robber, robbing your significant other of a moment of connection and intimacy that rightfully belongs to them. Now think about that. I'm wading through this water, Lord, for better or for worse. In all my ways, I'm putting Jesus first. With love in every line, in every song, in every verse.